Hello, Livestream volunteers. This is Frank, your parish administrator. Thank you for coming to check out this walkthrough. I'm going to be pretty much shooting off the cuff here, but I first wanted to say thank you for volunteering for this important ministry. This is going to be helpful for our parishioners who cannot make it into Mass and would love to see Mass in their own parish. It's also helpful if you volunteer to do this for weddings and or funeral services, which are optional. We'll reach out to you to see if you're available to do any of those things. But in any event, here we go. I will provide you all with logins and passwords to get into the system. Um, but needless to say, once we get logged on, this is what our computer screen is going to first present us with. And what we're going to want to take notice of is the applications that we will be using. So we have our Wirecast streaming program, which is what we will use to set up and go live on the live stream. And then we have the PTZ camera control program, which is how we control and set the image positions of the camera itself. Okay, so our very first step is just to simply launch Wirecast. Okay, and please do note that these icons are all pinned to our desktop taskbar below. Okay, so we'll go ahead and double click on the Wirecast icon. That will bring us to this page. Now, this page may not pop up. It'll go right to the actual um, slide. Well, I'll show you next, right into the Wirecast program. But if this does show up, simply just highlight over this text here, popstream.wcst. You can simply double click it or highlight it and then click on continue, and you're good to go. It should bring you up to this screen. Okay, now this looks pretty busy, like you're about ready to go produce a video. And in fact, you kind of are, but we only, for our live stream purposes, need to worry about these three arrows as our main concern. So, arrow A, that's pointing to an icon that looks like a wireless icon. That is our actual go live button. Arrow B, uh, pointing to the output menu. That's the one that we're going to jump into here next to actually set up the details of the live stream itself. And then C is just a little button we'll go into. I'm going to do a separate video on a live setup of this. And this allows us to manipulate what images we are seeing on the screen, whether we want both the preview window and the live window. That is what our audience is actually going to see, or just the preview window alone, or the live window alone. So we can manipulate that. But again, I'll show you that on a live setup video. Okay. So our next step is just to simply click the output menu at the very top. That's arrow B again. And that's going to bring us to this drop down menu that will open up. And from here, we just want to click into output settings, and we're going to be brought to this page that pops open. Okay, and again, another busy looking page, but after a few tries, you'll get the hang of this. So our first step is to highlight just over this text to make sure that this blue bar appears as though it's been selected. Please do not uncheck either of these boxes. That actually takes it off or turns off the feature for live streaming. So just simply highlight over this text, click on it, and that should shade that text blue. Okay. Step number two is to enter the title. In here, this is our standard conventions. We want to put the date, what it is, live stream mass. And in this particular case, this is happening over at Prince of Peace and Belfair. Simply uh, copy and paste that text into the description, and that part is good. I have item 2B here, step 2B. We just want to make sure that this cross post here does show Prince of Peace Catholic Church. If it does not, then we do want to click into this box cross post settings, I'll show you what that looks like on the next slide to make sure that it is checked off. Um, but if it's okay, then we're good to go to step 3. We simply want to hit the create button right here. What we'll notice is once we hit that button, this bar will look like it's filling up green. That means it's just working to set the live feed or the live stream feed onto Facebook. And what will eventually happen when it's done filling up, we will see down here at the very bottom, um, this location box or field is actually going to populate with some kind of address. Okay. But once we're done there, we want to go to the next step, which is oh, I may apologize. Here's the example of what would happen if we did have to click on the cross post settings box. This cross post box will open up. We just want to click here and Prince of Peace would be active. Click save, and then we're good to go. This allows us to not have to go into Facebook and share. It's automatically going to post to both Facebook sites. Okay, so go ahead and click save there, and that's good. And this slide here just shows you an example of the address that's being popped into this location field once we click the create button. Okay. So next is to do kind of the same thing for YouTube. So we want to again come over to the text under the YouTube section here, highlight over this and click it to make sure that it's now selected with the blue background. And then step number 2 would be to click on this plus box, this plus icon right here, right? That will open up a new window, and we're going to do much the same thing, just enter the details. We want to start in section 1 by entering our title. Now this is, from a different test that I did, but make sure we follow the same conventions as we did for Facebook. So date, what it is, and then where it's at. So um, copy and paste that into the description. Make sure we set the proper date. And then we're good to move on to step number 2, which is simply to ensure that the privacy field is set to public. Step 3 is to do change the category, make sure that that set is set to nonprofits and activism. Step 4 is to make sure that allow embedding is unchecked. And then step 4 is video made for kids. We want to uncheck that as well. We'll eventually have embedding allowed in the future, but for now, we need to keep it unchecked. That's just because our Facebook page, I believe, is still too new um, and not enough subscribers or whatever um, to actually allow embedding. So once we do all of that, we go ahead and click save. And the same thing, once we hit that save button, we're going to see that green bar pop up again, and it's going to do the same thing here, populate the location field with some kind of address. Once we see that, we are good to go and click OK, and we'll be brought back to this page. Now, before we want to actually hit this live stream button, we do want to make sure our camera is positioned properly. Okay, so go to the next slide. So you'll click the camera icon at the bottom down on the taskbar, and this little panel, control panel, should pop up. Okay, what we want to do here is go ahead and click onto camera 1 right here, this box, and then click the launch and hold button. And this is going to position the camera in such a way that once you click this, this particular image, this is for Prince of Peace specifically, um, there's no more need to manipulate the camera video angles or anything like that. This is meant just to be a static stream of what's going on at the Mass at the altar, and we can just leave it alone from there. We'll talk about in the live video setup how to be a little bit more dynamic, which I'm not requiring any of us to do, um, but it's going to be something that will want to do probably more for weddings and whatnot. But in the meantime, once you just click camera one again, click launch and hold, and then we'll go ahead and minimize this panel. And we're good to move on to the next part, which is to go live. And so again, what we want to do is just when we're ready, when we see the announcements are about ready to be read, we want to go ahead and click the live stream button, which again is this wireless icon, wireless looking icon. It will change from white to green. When it's green, that means you are now live. Okay. And um, the process to do Facebook, to get the embed code for our website, that process is the same if you're a new volunteer. I'll have a separate slide deck to present at that time. But like I said before, the image that we have set now is perfect for live stream. We don't need to change around anything. Unless it's Father Fong, who's doing a homily because he likes to walk everywhere. And I'll show you in the live version of this setup, how to actually go ahead and change the different camera positions. But for now, just sit back and participate in the mass, and or do the embed code on from Facebook onto our website, and we're good to go. Just come back and click this button here when mass is over, and we are set and done. Okay, that is it. Have a good one.